Howdy, everyone. Welcome to Man-O-Rama. Tonight, we're going to talk about how men should vent and all that good stuff. And it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of jokes, a lot of humors. Oh, it's going to be a fantastic time. Howdy, everyone. Welcome to Man-O-Rama, the 94th episode, not annual, like we're at some kind of damn Oscar. I'm your host, rancorsteve. It's good to be back after not doing a show for a week. Good back. Let's go around the table and see how everyone's doing. There's people in the background. Canadian Spider-Man, how's your week doing?
Yeah, it's been a good week. It's no frost yet, so the garden is still coming together. And just building some walls outdoors with a buddy of mine, framing up some walls and getting some shit done. And going hunting quite a bit, but haven't seen too much out there yet. I think it's still too warm, but it's been good, productive. Yeah, real productive.
That's good. Rick, how's your week been?
If it was any better, it'd probably be illegal. But yeah, it's not been bad. I actually have cut my schedule back a little bit. I now only work 6 days a week, so I was completely off yesterday. Not that I'm not always off anyway, but that's a story for another show.
It's always nice to have a day off from work.
Yeah, I've been working pretty much 7 days a week for about the last year. And then occasionally I would get sick and just shut down for like a day or so. So I was like, you know what? I just can't do it anymore. I'm gonna have to start.
Jeez. Yeah. Ordy, how's your week been?
You know what? It's pretty awesome. I mean, some bump cuts and bruises from work, but it's fall. I got to work up in the mountains today. It was a nice 58 degrees, light rain, lots of leaves. But yeah, no, it's fucking awesome. I love this time of year. Pumpkin spice MILF season.
The basic biscuit.
Boots, leggings, cable knit sweaters.
Yeah. And Vincent, how's your week been?
My week has been practically perfect in every way.
But it's only Tuesday.
I know. Well, it means it's definitely going to nosedive tomorrow, so I'm just enjoying it as it is.
My week has been, I had a blast. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I was in Freedom Land, called Texas. Or as some people like to call it, God's country. My wife and I went to Texas for a wedding, and I learned one thing. Make sure you go to a wedding first, and then you go visit Texas. By the time the wedding happened, I was exhausted. I was like, this sucks. But it was fun. I've never been so happy. I don't remember the last time I was happy. Like, I was just enjoying Texas. And at the wedding, I sent a picture to you guys. And I got berated because I didn't hear all the beers at the wedding, and it was free, by the way.
Here come the excuses, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Here comes,
wow.
Okay, you gotta have some.
Steve, before you begin,
what?
I just want to let you know, the effective range of an excuse is 0 fucking meters. So let's just move on, shall we?
Okay. I had a Bud Light at a wedding. And I sent the guys and I said, I don't have any shame whatsoever. And then I got berated for like a few minutes.
Well, berated and you earned a call sign, which is kind of a like a tradition with me. So your new call sign with me is shameless, sir.
Okay. All right. Short bus. I'm the shameless short bus. Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. A lot of my friends call me short bus, so we might have to fight over that one.
Short bus of shame.
Shameless works, definitely.
But I didn't know. Well, here's the other thing. I didn't know the guy across the room had a Guinness. And I was like, well, hold up now.
Ooh. Wow.
I didn't. I was like, wait, when did you guys have Guinness? They're like, we had it all the time. I was like, I didn't hear that.
Like,
you know what it was?
Bartenders.
You know what it was? You know what it was? They knew you were from the north and they wanted to humiliate you.
I know, right? I was like, oh. It's like 365 days of being a man.
Thinking Outlander, take your Bud Light and go away.
I know. But yeah, and I did play Top Golf.
Wait,
that was
they
fun.
still have
What?
Bud Light in Texas?
Yeah, but here's the thing. They actually made it look cool. They put the Lone Star on there. So it made it look masculine a little bit. So, because Bud Light's like, here's the other thing. And we'll get to Don't Be That Guy. But the thing about the Bud Light whole debacle thing, I didn't know about this. Someone who worked closely with Bud Light said during that whole thing, they signed a bunch of people, like Shane Gillis, like a bunch of comedians and celebrities. It just so happened Dylan Mulvaney's name showed up and everyone took it that way. So they weren't expecting it to go the way it went, but it went that way. And they're like, oh, crap. So they axed that dude's name out, and they're now promoting Shane Gillis the most. So it was like the worst idea they came up with that backfired. But they had no intentions on like, we're going to screw with everything. It just so happened Dingleberry Mulvaney, that dude kind of ruined it. So that's from, I don't know.
Yeah, the girl, the woman in charge of sales who chose Dylan, she kind of fucked up, and she's like, I don't even think she was 30. She's not old enough to know her ass from a hole in the ground. Come on.
Yeah.
DEI hire.
Yeah, but we're gonna get to one of our favorite segments.
Twitter.
Like always. Here's the other thing. If you ever see my face do a sent tweet, you're more than welcome to send that in to you can email at notdon'tbother@gmail.com, and we'll post it and we'll roast it. But good luck ever trying to find me simping, because it never happens. But so don't be that guy. We're gonna go through a few tweets. There's a little twist this time. There's been some praises, just because they're funny, and I thought, you know what, this is perfect. But there's a lot of fun, you know. We're just getting started, everyone. All right, here we go. Leonardo DiCaprio. This little dingleberry. It's what the Preble said. Let me zoom it out so everyone can see a little bit. Bros pre-ordering. I love this so much that it's true. What are your guys' thoughts on this?
And then when she turns 25, he's gonna drop her like a bad habit.
Yeah. No, the caption's perfect, and we don't need to go anywhere else with that.
All right, cool. Here's one that I saw that's funny. So I don't know. It looks like 2x4s or 2x6 with nails, and the guy's driving. This guy goes, WTF, what the fuck do you do? This facts guy says, for real? Oh shit. I would park my car, put the hazard lights, and move out those things out of the way.
Not unless you got a gun.
Right.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's what's
the
called.
guy,
Go ahead.
and the guy said, oh, bless your heart. You don't know what these nail boards mean. So let me educate you. If you get out of the car, you're gonna die. What? Guys, what is
No,
what is the
absolutely right.
issue?
That's a trap.
That's an ambush.
Yep.
In the words of Admiral Akbar, it's a trap.
It's a tarp.
Yeah, that's when you go Duke boys on them.
Yeah.
You gotta jump it.
Or you just work on your power slide.
Ooh.
Turn around and go the other way.
Have a back
Yeah.
road drift.
Well, here's the next one.
Well, hang on. Before you move on to the next one, I do have a point of
Yes.
order because you said you never simp. You were just simping for a beer. So,
See,
It's true.
No, I wasn't.
Ooh.
but then you drive home
How
on the
was I-
rims.
How is hold up? How was I simping for a beer?
I don't know. You're trying to defend your Bud Light
Yeah,
choices.
you were trying to defend them by saying, "Oh, well, they've got stars on the cans, and they're doing Shane Gillis ads now, and things are getting better." No, they're not.
I
I'll
don't
give
know
it
if
to you
that's
guys on that one.
simping.
Yeah, that's not really.
Yeah, that's
That
it.
is the
It's
definition
border.
of
That's
simping.
being naive. That would
Well, no,
be
hold up.
definitely naive.
Simping is where I'm giving money in hopes for something gratification
That's never
back.
going to come.
I didn't pay for this beer, but if you want to go California terms of simping, okay, sure. I was simping for Bud
No,
Light.
you're trying to white knight for the beer, and white knighting is a
Yeah.
form of simping.
Exactly.
I'll go with the white knight thing. I was just trying to
It's-
explain the reason behind it. I wasn't really defending. Whatever, we'll move on. You know what? Fine, you got me. All right, I'll give you that one. Jeez, if you want to split hairs.
Wait a minute.
No,
Isn't there enough space between those 2x4s just to fit your
No,
wheels?
there isn't.
I wouldn't try it if it were me, but you know.
You could do it.
Well, you just drive home on your rims and
Yeah,
come
you
back
could.
with
Or
slugs.
just, power slide and get the fuck out.
Yeah, do that, Tom Cruise. All right, so here's Harry Sishin.
Oh God, why do
This-
we have the human embodiment of a chihuahua on the screen right now? I'm just asking.
I don't know, but what do you guys see the problem with this?
That I tweeted about that. Couldn't get laid in a Nevada brothel with an Amex Black card. He's not getting sex.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing I'm going to say about that is if voting for Harris gets me laid, I don't like chicks with sticks, so it wouldn't matter anyway.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I remember when Madonna was offering blowjobs for voting for Hillary, and I considered it for a moment. A moment.
Do you know where that mouth has been? You need
That was
somebody
before
to
the
shut up.
alien head conversion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was before she started looking like the female musician from the Muppets.
Yeah.
But
No, yeah, you're hanging around the wrong girls.
here's the problem that I have with it. We already know Harry is an idiot, but it's the whole Trump gives girls the ick. Vote Harris, get laid. I don't think any guy who's voting for Harris is getting laid anytime soon.
I mean, they're probably
And-
getting laid, but they probably play for the same team, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah.
No, they're getting laid. I mean, if you consider getting pegged to getting laid.
Yeah. Well,
The
have you guys
backlash
seen
on that was fantastic about what a
And that
misogynistic
hurt.
douchebag he was.
That hurt.
Yeah.
And what about what do you mean the ick? Like how old are these are like junior high school girls that they get the ick? Like that's junior high school shit. So no, you don't want no,
about
that'll
his
get you
speed.
in jail. No.
That's
no.
the demographic he panders to, pretty much.
It's obviously
Yeah.
children like junior high school girls who get the ick. Like grown women don't. That's just childish bullshit. No, you don't want to mess with girls that young. That's terrible. No.
Well, we're gonna move on from
Also,
this.
there's
weirdo.
Well,
dumb.
these are Democrats we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mentally.
So
so
I have a funny story about this.
Whoa.
This is Magic Johnson. So when I first saw this,
Are we
picture-
playing Senor or Senorita again?
No, this is I don't know.
they're both dudes. I got this one.
There you go. We Canadian Spider-Man got one right.
Finally.
No, here's the problem. When I just wanted to throw this in there because of my reaction to this picture when I first saw it. I was like, wow, Magic Johnson is married to a very ugly looking dude. And I looked closer, I was like, that looks like his son. And I just found it hilarious. I was like, dude, it's like if Michelle Obama's face or Big Mike's face got smushed, you would get this. It's very just there. If this dude's trying to pass as a woman, good luck. You got the jawline of a linebacker. It's ridiculous. And then I just saw this one today, guys. Kamal Harris's husband, Doug Himoff, Cuck, has been credited for reshaping the face of masculinity. Guys, What is the
I
problem?
mean, sure,
No.
if you consider masculinity knocking up the babysitter and then smacking a bitch down, then yeah.
He reshapes face, but not his. He ex-girlfriends. He reshapes their face.
So, little bit of inside baseball. Something that Douglas never mentions is his middle name, which is Jack.
Put up bump.
Hmm.
Try the veal.
Don't forget to tip out your waitress.
I'll show myself out.
Second show's at midnight. You gotta be 21 for the second show. It gets a
So-
little blue.
In other news, turns out that Stevie Wonder is defending P. Diddy. He went to one of the parties. He said he went to a few of the parties and he said, I saw nothing wrong. Yeah.
Wow.
That's the reason
We
why
all
he
know
owns-
he's not blind. Have you ever seen a video of Stevie Wonder actually walk into the elevator? Like he almost walked into the wall and he's like, oh. And then he's like, oh. And then someone said, hey,
See
Stevie
the one
Wonder.
where he was blowing a kiss from the stage and he blew the kiss back?
Yep. I saw that one too.
What? He had a microphone in his ear, and his stage handler told him.
Yeah. Sure, we'll go with that one. So tonight we're going to talk about venting. So every once in a while, a man needs to vent, and it's not the way women vent, where it goes on and on and on. It's a lot of how men vent. It's different with each person. Sometimes it's just sit down, talk about what's frustrating you during the week. I usually try to hang out with Tyler once a week and just hang out and talk and have a couple beers with him and just talk. Like usually that's a normal way of venting. Because if you bottle up all the if you don't find a way to vent it out and bottles up of what's frustrating with you, you take it out on everyone. And it's like when guys get angry or frustrated, it doesn't matter who it is. Whoever's right in front of you, that is your target, and you just let it all out on them. And then the person doesn't know who it is. Like, why is this person like? Why are you getting mad at me? What did I ever do? And then a few minutes later, the guy's gonna be like, "Oh crap, I'm not mad at you. I'm just dealing with this." So I like to make it where every other month or something like that, where we get to do a venting, where we just vent about what we're dealing with. So it gives an idea for guys and everything. Who would like to go first?
I mean, since nobody else is jumping in, I guess I will.
All right, Rick.
Well, so this has kind of become an important topic for me, and because of some things that I went through with during the pandemic, and I kind of did feel pretty alone and isolated there for a little bit because, like I said, I was in a long-term marriage. We were together for 23 years, married for 18, and by the end of 2020, it was over, and I just felt completely alone and isolated. And I realized partly it was because I didn't really have anybody that I felt like I could vent to anymore. So there's actually a show that I've started specifically on that topic, and John Katz and I do it every 2 weeks, just to try to give men kind of a safe space to kind of do what we're doing right now. But it's so important to find some sort of an outlet to vent, because you're right. If you don't, then you're just going to start unloading on whoever's in front of you, because at some point you can't hold it in anymore, no matter how hard you try.
Yeah.
And so for me, I mean, honestly, part of my venting was starting to do podcasting years ago, because it kept me busy. It let me vent about the things that were irritating me, because for me, my biggest thing, like I've said before, I ran a security firm for years that blew up at the very beginning of the Obama administration, and I had no idea what I was going to do because I put everything I had into it and it was just gone. That's when I started ranting about politics. 16 years. 16 years ago, and the rest is history.
Mm-hmm. Nice.
Yeah, it's one of the things that frustrates me is the whole how men are portrayed in society. Like when I went, like California is like the worst example of how masculine man is. When I went to Texas, it was like there's guys that are as small as me that I'm like, dude, that guy could probably kick my ass. Like it's different. And it's this whole, well, men need to get into their inner feelings. Men need to, it's okay for men to cry. Yeah, it is okay, but you don't have to force it. Like, it's this whole thing where society is trying to push this idea where men need to be more feminine. It's like, no, don't do
No,
that. And it's
I
this
don't
whole
think so.
liberals trying to force these ideology, as I like to call it, onto us. And eventually people get bored of it and it just drives me nuts. And then if you say one thing that's masculine about someone of like, or whoever it could be, you could pick any guy, and you get bombarded and just like attacked, and they're like, what the heck? What did I ever say to you? And yeah, it's like, dude, don't, I don't know. It just pisses me off. Like, to see people go, well, you shouldn't say anything mean about that person. It's like, well, why not? Like, they're saying stupid things. Let's call them out. Like, that's one thing that's been yeah.
And Suzanne in the chat was just asking who was speaking before you, Steve. That
was Rick.
Yeah, did we introduce Rick? Does everyone know Rick?
I've been here for a while now, but yeah, I think we went around. We did the usual thing. It's just Steve likes to keep us in the corner so nobody can see us.
I do like to put you guys in the corner. You gotta look at Kamal Harris's.
Nobody
picture.
puts Orty in the corner.
Yeah, they're not wearing pants, so we can't have them on the camera.
Hey, why are we discriminating against Team No Pants?
Right?
That is unacceptable.
Yeah.
YouTube.
But does anybody else have anything else they want to vent about?
I mean, Rick stole my answer. Damn it. But no, I've been using podcasting as my outlet and, making bullying great again on Twitter.
And now he's gonna get to make Twitchy his outlet too. So there's that.
That too. But no, I mean, it just, it's important to vent, but I've got nothing to get off my chest right now. These pipes are clean. I'm very zen at the moment.
Don't you feel so special?
Aren't I though?
It's
I mean, he's an Amish on the
Yeah, I
internet.
knew Vincent would get that joke too.
yeah.
When I come back, I hope to be a cabin man.
That was a stupidly awesome movie. Venting. I myself have nothing to vent about because what I like to do, instead of yelling and screaming and tearing into people, I have a heavy bag that I hang downstairs in the basement, and I go downstairs, I tape my hands up, and I beat the ever-living fuck out of it for 15 minutes.
That is actually a form of venting. There are ways.
I was going to ask you guys, how do you guys vent?
That's it, primarily
Vincent
for me.
is like, I'm going to pinch this punching bag.
Yeah, I'm going to beat the...
Vincent is I'm going to go downstairs and pretend I'm Rocky, and that's Dolph Lundgren.
No, I don't even do that. I just turn on some really fast fucking speed metal and just beat the shit out of the bag until I can't lift my arms anymore, which generally takes about 10, 15 minutes.
Nice.
That's not bad. I think every guy should do that.
Yeah. And you can find heavy bags anywhere. Go down to any used sporting goods place and you will find one. And
now, do you think, here's something, do you think Canadian Spider-Man would go into a walk-in freezer like Rocky and start punching the frozen meat?
Tenderizing the deer heart?
Yep. Yeah.
I think he would.
I have been known, especially when I was younger, if I got frustrated, I would punch things. I've never punched a human adult, but I've punched walls, buildings, my snowplow when it was attached to my truck right into the front of the snowplow after my grandmother died. That was a bad one. Yeah, I punched a lot of things, but that's not a good way to vent. I don't recommend that. I recommend the thing with the punching bag. That's better.
If you punch a hole through the wall, you better hope that you're not hitting a stud.
I
Done
see. That's the last
Yeah,
time I ever
that's
punched
what-
a wall.
Really,
That's
Bob?
the last time I punched a wall. I hit a stud in my dad's house, and I never punched a wall again.
That's what people never think about.
Plate glass window. Yep. Oh,
Especially if it happens to be the part of the stud that has the drywall screw in it.
ooh, missed that. No. Through the front door, it had a plate glass window. I replaced it with a thicker plate glass window, though, so there's no way I'll break it this time. Break my hand. But yeah, I don't
Say
recommend
that,
punching
but-
things. No, don't recommend that. I work out now. See, and I'll put on Trudeau speaking in the House of Commons, and that really motivates me. And you just work out really hard to listening to that clown.
You play Eye of the Tiger? You play Eye of the Tiger, don't you?
I just listen to him speak, and it just makes my blood boil. It works.
That actually, that's not a bad idea.
Oh, dude, absolutely.
I do. Need
I
to
would
get
do
a
that
heavy
with
bag.
Kamala Harris, but she just makes me
No,
want to
her voice is
rip my
just
ears
so
out.
fucking annoying. I couldn't do
It's-
that.
Yeah.
Just put the
It's
cackle.
It's
on.
sap
The cackle.
testosterone.
Don't do the cackle, please. Don't. It's so bad.
Just put the cackle on a loop, and then you'll want to punch
We
everything.
might
and
as well. We might as well just make this episode. How much trash can we give Kamala Harris, her cuck husband, and her ugly-looking daughter, stepdaughter? Jesus, man, shave those armpits.
I do have a question, Steve. Did you want us to talk about something we wanted to vent about, or did you want to talk about the usefulness of venting in general? Or
A little bit of both.
okay,
It's because I know some guys they don't know how to vent. They'll just there's a certain way of doing it. If you just go up to a guy and just unload and you're like, whoa, like I understand you're like frustrated and you want to talk, like this is not how you do it, because it's like you kind of have to structure it a little bit. If like I went to go vent with Gary, I can just unload on him. He would understand where I'm coming at pretty easy because I've known him for so long. But if it's like someone that you've just met, like a guy friend, and you don't know how each other communicate all the way yet, I wouldn't recommend going, this is how I feel, and like just unload everything. It's like when a guy has a breakup, guys vent about that. It's like they just unload everything. You're like, ooh, man, like I need a beer, like a pitcher beer to go through all this. Like it's good for, that's the other thing. It's always good for guys to just listen to when a guy is venting. It's okay. Sometimes you don't have to have the right answer. Just listening to the guy vent, it's very helpful, and it helps that friendship. It gives kind of like a trust between people, and that's what I tend to do. That mostly just listen, but when I vent, I stutter. I go on a crazy tirade sometimes.
So, question: when you say pitcher of beer, do you mean real beer, or are you simping again?
Oh God! It would be real beer,
Okay, just checking.
like Guinness.
I worked at
Guinness has less alcohol in it than Bud Light. Or sorry, Budweiser.
Really?
Guinness is only 4.8%. Regular Budweiser is 5.3.
What I usually do is I'll drink a hazy IPA because it's higher, but
Jesus.
But no, hold up. Just I know it. Whatever. If you want to say I'm simping for IPAs now, I'm not a big fan of IPAs, but
No.
hazy
We
IPAs.
were
What?
going to make a comment about the tone of voice you were using and how well it fits with you wanting an IPA.
Oh, my little lisp thing going on. Yeah. Okay.
Well, no,
Dude.
your voice went up about an octave. You added the
Dude,
list.
you're talking about IPAs. You're talking about IPAs. If you had fucking hair, you'd be wearing it in a top knot right now.
Okay, so I'm going to explain that to you. So sometimes I'll emphasize words and I'll emphasize phrases and I'll add a little spice to it just for fun, because that's how I am. I always make what I'm saying.
If by spice you mean rainbow texture, then it works.
God, dude.
Throw some rainbow sprinkles.
I should have just stayed in Texas.
It's the rainbow, bitches.
Skittles is good, guys.
By the way, this
Chase
is
the
one of my most
rainbow.
common ways to vent. I give people shit and it makes me feel better. So there you go.
Hey, that works too. You know what? I've been a punching bag for roasting for almost 3 years now, so it's okay. I don't think I have any fucks to give left anymore.
I was going to continue on what you were saying,
Yeah.
Steve, about obviously don't go all out and vent everything to someone you don't know that well, but also at work, if you vent, of course, everyone has to vent at work to relieve some frustration. But if you're doing it too much and if you're too repetitive, you will develop a reputation for being a negative person at work, and that's no good for you. It won't help the morale of your work situation. I used to work at a hotel, a ski resort hotel in Whistler Ski Resort, and believe me, there's a lot of dumb rich folk that come up there, and our staff, we're tight. Like we socialize after work together. We go snowboarding together, skiing together, and so we vent quite a bit. But if those people that vent too much and too repetitively about the same thing, without if they're harping on it too much, they get negative reputations. They get a reputation for being a negative person, and it helps to bring morale down. And you don't want that. So you got to learn.
Yeah.
You got to learn what's too much, and when.
Yeah,
it's
I mean, at work
appropriate.
we do our once a week. Usually Tuesday morning after all the dust has settled from the weekend and all the other bullshit, and then it's like, okay, Tuesday morning. Here's where everybody. Okay, it's like a list of grievances. This is why you failed me, and then that's the last we talk about it. Then it moves on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'd also like to add that never vent to women.
Oh,
Right.
Yeah, that's probably
because
why.
you'll never get a word in.
No, not
Sorry,
you'll never
women.
get a word in. They'll
No.
they will
Venting
use everything you say against you.
Yes.
Venting to a woman is about like admitting something to a cop. Everything you can say and will say will
Yes.
be used against you at a later time.
Exactly.
Yeah, don't share your feelings with women. Absolutely not.
And I can already tell some of the women watching, they're like, that's not true. Hold up.
Yes, it is.
It is true. Because that is a good point. Guys, don't vent to women. If it's your wife, that's a little bit different. Because they're just like, hey, this is what I'm dealing with. And she'd be like, oh, what can I do for you? Can I make you?
Don't vent, like you would vent to a friend. Just
not okay. So let me rephrase it. Not venting. If I went and vented to my wife, it's more of like work related. Just the daily issues I dealt with, like stupid people in the traffic, like something like that. But if it's like something serious, like something that is like, you know what,
serious. Did you guys catch that?
Yes.
I'm telling you, it's the Bud Light. I'm telling you, it was the Bud Light.
It affected him.
Yep.
God.
Steve.
We lost Steve.
Steve, it's okay.
Yeah.
We don't judge. You need to be your true, honest self. You can be your true, honest self with us. We will never judge you much.
I see. There it is. Mm-hmm.
Steve?
Yes.
It's not your fault. It's not your fault.
It's not your fault.
They tricked you into drinking the Bud Light, man. It's not your fault.
Oh, God. They did. And it was a woman that gave me the Bud Light, too.
A good bartender would have had a sample of everything they offer on the bar. Ready so you just point to
that would have been at least nice.
Right? That's what you do at weddings because it's loud and you know that. So you put a sample of it and the person just points to it.
Just give me the bottle of bourbon. I'll be good.
That's right. Yes. Can you do that?
No. Now I lost what I was going to say because everyone's making fun of my lift.
No, we were talking about how not to vent to women.
Yes.
Oh, yes. So
sensitive.
They're
or serious.
Like,
you said serious.
I can go to. I feel like anytime I talk now, it's just going to be. How many jokes can you guys?
I'm going to let you talk. I'm going to mute.
like I can go to Gary and Andy and talk to them about something very serious that, hey, what is an advice like marriage? Like Andy, I can talk to him and be like, hey, I need some marriage advice. How would you approach this? And he would just tell me like, do it this way, or do something like that similar. And there is a bond where it's a trust of like, do I trust talking to this guy about what I'm dealing with, struggling with, whatever it is. That's what I mean. Like I can go to my wife and be like, this is what I'm struggling with, like traffic, and I just want to vent. And she can just sit there and just listen. And then she'll be like, do you want a sandwich? Yes, I want a sandwich. And
Would you like a Bud Light with the sandwich?
if it's the only beer left, whatever, I'll drink it.
Dude, if that's
I've
the
had
only beer
worse beers. That's the other thing. I've had worse beers than
You used to drink
anything.
Bud Light.
Yeah,
Dude,
I lived in the South.
Dude, if
No,
it's the only
since
beer
you were
left,
doing the
I'm
show.
drinking wine.
Not since I was doing the show. Canadian Spider-Man just walked up and left. He's getting a Bud Light.
Actually, I think he. I don't know. I think
Is he getting the Bud Light with Dylan on the can?
He did. Ooh.
Uh-oh.
He did do there was a punishment where he came up with a topic and what in the world? What homosex is that?
Looks like it's a
Pilsner. I thought it was like a Pride. The new improved Pride flag beer. And you're muted.
There, how's that? Can you hear me?
Pretty
Yeah,
good.
it's a pilsner. It's a bunny beer. It's no, that's not. It's red and green and yellow. It's flags of Ireland, I think. I don't know.
Jamaica?
Spain, Jamaica. Thank you. There you go. It's made in Jamaica.
Fantastic.
Where they smoke dope and don't drink Bud Light and rob tourists.
Besides, they drink red.
Yeah.
They drink Red Stripe.
I like Red Stripe.
Red Stripe is a fantastic lager, by the
I
way.
like it. Yeah. Yeah, for guys that are
Hooray,
stoned all
beer.
the time, they can make a good beer. I'm surprised.
Yeah,
Well, they're probably right into it.
you got to have something to drink when you're high.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, do you guys vent more when you're drinking? Do you tend to ramble on and vent?
No,
Yeah.
I tend to get more withdrawn when I drink. I'm a very quiet drunk.
I start to observe.
Yes.
Unless I'm like out in a social situation, then I become very gregarious. But other than that, I'm observing.
Okay.
See, Vincent, you say you're a quiet drinker. Wait until you hang out with me.
No, I am a quiet drinker because, in the
Cheers,
past I've
Jeff.
thrown some rather lavish soirees, and while everybody else is getting hammered on the wine that I serve, I just sit there and I observe and I make mental notes of everything.
I do like doing that when you're hosting. Yep.
Yeah. So you know who not to invite again.
Right. Or if I'm at a party, I'll happen to go to the kitchen because that's where all the weirdos go hang out, and then take notes from there. See who comes in and just grabs a beer from the fridge and goes back out, or who's like starts rifling through the owner's shit. That's always fun too.
Yeah, because if they take longer than 5 minutes in your bathroom, they're stealing stuff from your medicine cabinet.
They're stealing your medicine.
Yep.
And they're finding your antifungal creams.
Ooh. Do those get you high? Really?
I don't know. I was from Seinfeld.
Oh. So do you guys now? Would you ever vent to your parents? Have you ever vent? I don't think I've ever vented.
Oh, I did. I used to. When my parents were still alive, I did all the time. All the time.
Yeah,
Your parents love you
so.
regardless. And
What I would do is I'd be like, my brother's an idiot, Mom. Fix him.
Yeah,
That's usually how that conversation goes.
I had a lot of venting during the crazy Canadian lockdowns during the pandemic and all of that, and I really was venting a lot. And my parents agreed with everything that was going on, and they wouldn't hear of it. They did not want to talk to me about that. So that's when I realized, yeah, I really can't vent to my parents about everything. Certain members of my family, even, yeah, no. So it's got to be, well, guys like you. I can vent more to you guys than I
Yeah.
could to mom and dad. That's kind of crazy when you think of it.
It's not crazy. It makes sense because when I'll vent more to like close guy friends than I do my brothers. Because like with my brothers, it becomes almost like a gossip. Like we're trying to catch up. I rarely see my brothers, but when I hang out with them, like once every year or 2 years or so, it's more of catching up kind of thing. And then we vent a little bit, but it's not necessarily the type of venting of like saying, hey, let's go grab a beer and let's talk. Like I just want to get something off my chest. And it's a little bit different. Like I'll talk with my brothers about some things, but I'd rather just sit down, have a beer, and just talk and just get whatever's on my chest off and just be like, this is what I'm dealing with. And it feels nice after you vented and for me, I had a couple beers. Like it feels nice. Like I can actually focus and think about other things.
I often wondered why more people in Canada weren't venting more about what was taking place in Canada with the lockdowns and with all the shenanigans. But people should have been like, I expected people to be up in arms in the streets, same as you guys. How come people aren't venting more about the lawfare crap that was taking place against your former president? You should have been up in the streets. People should have been. They should still be venting over that shit, and they're quiet.
The reason they're not in the streets, look at what they're doing to the folks with J6. That's why they're not in the streets. People that were basically doing simple trespassing are getting 20-year sentences. That's why they're not in the streets.
Your whole country should be venting about that as well.
But half the country thinks they deserve it.
I guess that's the problem up here. Yeah. I think more people would speak up otherwise.
Yeah, it's weird, like how Democrats vent is stupid.
When I'm emperor, things will change.
Oh, when you're emperor?
Yes. Memes.
Just promise me you will always have clothes on.
Yeah.
It'll depend on. No, I'm going to use the royal we. It will depend on our mood. We will decide when we wear clothes.
Ooh.
I feel like if you're the emperor for like, it'll be fun for a week.
For like 5 minutes.
And then it's
I'll say 5 minutes. And then then the menu of food that we all have to eat, it's gonna be the weirdest shit you've ever seen.
Well, no, Shameless will be crying because Emperor VC will outlaw Bud Light completely.
No.
No, I will invite Steve to the Capitol. And he will come to the palace, and we'll go out on the balcony, and we'll have a bunch of Bud Light trucks parked outside in the public square, and we will destroy them with automatic cannon fire.
Ooh!
And he will watch. I will strap him to a chair and force his eyes open.
Like you guys think that's gonna like make me emotionally damaged and everything? It's not really going to. Like
emotional.
Vent about how you feel about that.
Like I'm not gonna like cry about it and have PTSD over like they blew up a bunch of Bud Light cars. Moo hoo hoo.
You'll be mad because the worst punishment will be that they won't let you do that to the trucks yourself.
See,
like, I want to blow it up. And that'll be why you're sad because.
And then I'm going to vent to you, Emperor Vincent. And I'm like, look, you little dirty man.
I like that.
How come I can't shoot?
Memes will be currency under Emperor Vincent.
Yes. Yeah, except that would make
I will be a rich man.
I'm going to say that would make Orty a millionaire, and none of us wants that. But Steve, why do you have your own voodoo doll on the desk right now? I'm
Okay.
That is so awesome.
concerned.
First off, it's
That's
not
awesome.
a doll; it's an action figure. Second of all, it was gifted to me by Andy Masterson. He made me into the Rocketeer.
Nice.
Nice.
Now that everyone can see,
Is it
It's not-
fully articulated?
Oh yeah.
And anatomically correct.
yes,
Mhm.
this one doesn't have the tattoos because he has the jacket, but I have two other ones that have the tattoos.
Nice.
Wow.
But yeah,
You guys are lucky this is not technically my show because that was such a giggity line, but I'm not going to hit the button.
Well, you've never let it stop you before.
Yeah, good point.
Right.
Wiggity wiggity, giggity goo. Stick around.
This episode has gone from venting to random conversations, which is okay.
That is
Because
also
after going for like a week of no episodes, I'm like, yeah, this will be the easiest thing I can think of. We'll vent for like 20 minutes. See, that's the other thing. When you vent, this is how it goes. We'll talk about what's frustrating us, and then we'll have a random conversation that makes no sense. And there's gonna be some people that walk in and be like, what the fuck? I'm like, hey,
Perfect. What about
And if it
venting
wasn't
behind
for
the
that
wheel?
horse, I wouldn't have graduated college.
yeah.
Did you guys handle road rage down in?
Oh,
'cause you're in
damn.
California, like you must vent behind the wheel when you're in traffic jams and shit like that, like pounding on the steering wheel, setting off the.
No, that's just
Airbag.
people with an exceptional lack of self-control. That's what it is.
Okay, so y'all know I drive for a living, so I've become very zen about that, like trying to merge or whatever, and I'm like sitting there for several minutes. I just go 38 cents. 38 every minute that passes by, that was another 38 cents I made. That's fun.
Ooh,
Ooh.
nice.
Well,
Stoner Brewing Co. with a zinger in from the Rumble chat.
yeah, I saw.
We miss you, Jeff.
Yes, that's a Trump mug, Big Dave K.
Yeah,
Welcome.
it is. It's the Trump Norris mug. But here's the other thing. In California, I hate drivers. But in Texas, everyone goes really fast and they're like polite about it. Like we almost got cut off on the freeway or interstate, I should say, in Texas. And this lady's like, she waved, she was like very sorry. And I was like, okay, cool. If it was in California, I'd be like, get in your own damn lane, you stupid. I would say a bunch of other things. Like when I'm behind the wheel, oh, I say a lot of things. And I'm not ashamed of it. Because California drivers are the stupidest, dumbest drivers on the face of the planet. Like people say New York's worse. No. New York is just like you cram everyone in there, so you expect it. California is like, we're gonna extend the freeway by 5 lanes each on each side, and then it's traffic jam still. Like I made the mistake when I first moved to LA of someone told me to go on the 405, and I was like, okay. I didn't realize the mistake I
They
made.
hated you.
Oh my gosh. A Southern guy getting onto the 405, have never been in a traffic jam in his entire life. That was the first, man, it popped my cherry. That was the moment I had like frustration of drivers. I was like, you guys don't know how to drive. It's the same way when it rains in California, people don't know how to drive.
Mhm.
Or the coastal fog.
Oh God.
Or like
Or
an
where I
inch of
live,
snow in
you get
Vancouver.
tourists. Or where I live, you get tourists. And so when you get on the freeway, there's a certain point where it shows the bay, and it's really nice. But you get every foreigner have to slow down to a complete stop almost, have to take a picture.
Mhm.
Your phone can take a picture really good at 50 miles an hour, 60. Keep going. Oh, man. And it's
Right now we got the leafers
Oh, that's
The
the
leaves are
worst.
because the leaves are changing. They park in the middle of the fucking road. They will
Yep.
just stop, get out with their camera, and take a picture on a blind turn. And I'll come whipping around the corner and just almost cream.
Yep. The
Them.
Nova
Wave. Oh,
Scotia is
sorry.
brilliant this time of year for that.
And you know who's to blame for it? The soccer
German?
moms.
Oh.
Because my mom would do that. We went to Vermont one time, and I didn't realize. I think I was like 6 when we did this trip, and she wanted to see all the colors of the leaves. I was like, all right, once you see one color of Leaves. You've seen them all. And
Mm,
the amount of people literally
No.
stopped in the middle of the street
it's pretty
outside
beautiful.
taking pictures. And it's dark out. You can't see. They're still taking pictures. I was like, you guys are dumb.
Ooh, that's an interesting elm in the moonlight. No, but I take it back. I mean, I need to correct you on that one. Eastern Ohio, Western Pennsylvania in fall, those smug motherfuckers use every Crayola in the box.
Mm.
It's actually quite impressive.
Yep. I was going to say Nova Scotia, New Brunswick as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, no kidding. But yeah, it's still, yeah, you need to still swear at them in traffic. Absolutely. They're idiots.
There's an actual good question here. Matt I said, he actually has a bunch of good questions here. We'll answer his questions. He said, why do some men find it difficult to vent, and how does this impact their mental health? That's actually a pretty good question. How would you guys like to answer that question?
I know the answer. If you need, unless somebody else wants to chime in.
You go ahead.
Well, society tells us we're not supposed to vent, for one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Bingo.
We're not supposed to show any weakness at all. We're not supposed to show anything. We're just supposed to shoulder it all, take it, be out doing whatever we got to do to make ends meet, and we're just supposed to be happy about it. And that's what society teaches us from birth, and that's why so many men haven't been okay with venting. So now you have
So many men chew on the end of their Beretta.
exactly. That's why if you look at it statistically, male suicides outnumber female suicides 2 and 3 to 1 worldwide, because men don't have an outlet, because they've been told they can't have an outlet.
Well, plus we have it harder as well.
And that plus you get criticized as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean,
Well,
No one cares. No one cares.
So during my divorce, right, I was going through counseling and everything. And one of the things my counselor always said is, if there's something bothering you, journal about it, write it down. That didn't work. So the only thing that worked for me, and I don't know why it did, was putting stuff out on my personal Facebook account. And everybody started yelling at me about it. And I'm like, look, this is the only thing that makes me feel better, even if it's only for 10 or 15 minutes at a time. So if you don't like it, unfriend me, block me, I don't care.
Did you try drinking?
All the time.
Well, it's like my wife. It's easier for her to go pick up the phone and talk to someone. She asked me, she said, what would happen if you went through something that's like really bad and just life-changing, and it's just you're miserable and everything? Like, who would you talk to? I was like, there's nobody. Like, in general, like, society has built it up to where we don't, like what Rick said, we don't have an outlet to talk. And this is why this show's here. So it's like there is somewhat of an outlet for guys to hang out, talk about whatever, roast each other, just have fun, be normal. And outside of the show, there's not much. Like, there's not a men's homeless shelter. There's a women's homeless shelter, but it's very much here in the States. Society doesn't give two shits about men. And which is sad, because I would say 90% of society is built on the backs of men. Like, we built this of what you are doing, what you're enjoying in life, and we get no credit. Like, there was a lady at the wedding when she found out I do construction. I've never had this. I didn't know how to approach this. I don't approach being thanked and praises very well, because it's more of like, I don't seek that out. I'm humble. It's just a job. I'm doing what I'm doing, and that's it. And if people enjoy it, cool. But she said, I want to thank you for what you do. And I was like, what do you mean? I was like, what are you talking about? She said, for your hard work in building the society up and doing construction. I was like, well, thank you. I was like, this is crazy. Okay. Never had that, and it felt good. It's like, wow, someone's appreciating what men do.
Yeah, we built this city.
I hate you.
Like,
Starship.
I hate
there
you
was
so
a
much.
tweet out that said,
If hate were
finally
people, I would
women-
be China.
1986, we built this city.
I saw a tweet about this lady said now women can fix all the problems in this world. And I said, oh, so you're going to do 90% of what the men have been doing? Utter silence. It was like, yeah, you want to build the roads? You want to fix the roads? You want to build a house? Like, I know some women that can do that. They're tough as nails. And I would never want to piss them off because they would clock any dude out that I know. And because they're not normal women. They're mostly Southern.
Why
So-
women, maybe?
So let's be honest with what venting really is, and the fact that we're not looking for feedback, we're not looking for conversation, we're not looking for solutions, we're looking to just get shit off our chest, right?
Mhm.
So I've found that my windshield is really good for that. Just getting in the car and driving, verbally talking it out. Yeah, I look like the crazy person talking in my car, but usually I'm on a dirt road and nobody fucking sees it anyway. So I just lay it all out loud. I don't keep it in my head. I just say what I got to say, usually driving very fast down a dirt road. And I feel pretty good about it afterwards.
Are you blaring Tracy Chapman while you're driving really fast?
Yes, I'm doing fast car.
Yeah.
No, usually I'm doing like, yeah.
Matt I said, how can men be encouraged to vent in healthier ways without feeling judged or weak? That's actually a really good one because you might get, like, if, let's say you go to 5 guys and just talk to them. Be like, hey, this is what I'm struggling with, or I just need to let this off
The
my
burger
chest.
joint?
You're going to get, what?
That's what I thought.
I was going to
burger
say, why
joint?
you go to a burger joint event?
That's what I thought.
Sure, if you want to get a burger. But you're gonna get someone he's gonna judge you and be like, oh, why you struggling with that? That's nothing. Each guy struggles with something differently. It's not like there's no room to judge someone. Like if someone goes, hey, I'm struggling with a divorce, I'm gonna listen. Like, hey, what do you want? I'll hear you out. What do you want to talk about? Just let me know. Or I'm dealing with a stupid coworker at work. Like, it could be the pettiest thing, but if someone needs to let it off their chest, let it off, man. It's fine.
Or you can be Steve. I'm secretly addicted to Bud Light.
Yes, I'm addicted
No, but
to Bud
getting
Light.
back to the point I just
I
made, though,
inject
why do you
it.
need to have?
Oh.
Why do you need to have another person for that?
You don't.
Not necessarily. You can use a punching bag. There's like going to the gym, I think, is a healthy way. It's
Punching bag, sounding board, like Ordy said, his windshield's great for that. Matt just brought up a good point.
Yep.
You're out in public somewhere and you've got something you got to get off your chest, put an earbud in so everybody thinks you're on the phone while you're just going to town.
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
I mean,
there's ways of doing it, but I think
your
some
dog.
guys. Ooh,
Wait,
yeah,
what?
talking to the dog. That actually.
Oh, talk to your dog. I was like, what did he just say
Yeah.
about the dog?
Talk to your dog.
Oh,
Talk
I
to
see.
your dog.
But
Dogs are good listeners.
for me, I build Lego. Sometimes I'll just not stream me building Legos and I'll just build it and it's letting off. I'm just venting. I put on a show and just build something. Like I'm doing something active to keep myself from not focusing so much on it. That's the other thing. If you focus so much on what's bothering you, you're gonna lash out at people that didn't deserve it, and then you ruin friendships with that. And some people are like, dude, I don't want to be around you. You said a lot of stupid things to me, and I just don't want to be around you on that. And there's that.
Well, so that's another valid point I feel like we need to bring up. There's a point where you have vented too much or gone too far with a topic, and there needs to be a way for you to learn when you've gotten everything you can get out of a venting session, whether it's alone in your car, whether it's in your shower, whatever. Because if you stay in that negative space too long, and I'm not on camera, so you can't see me raising my hand right now, but I've been there because for almost 2 years, I was stuck. And nothing I did would get me out of the mindset that I was in for longer than a few minutes at a time. And I just had to start physically changing how I thought about things. Because otherwise, no amount there comes to a point where if it's a bad enough situation, no amount of venting helps. So the best thing to do is to vent until you start feeling a little bit better and then find some way to redirect it. It's kind of like with the first show that we did together when we were talking about people with fear of public speaking, etc.
Yeah.
That type of energy is the same. If you don't have anything to do with it, you're going to ruminate in your own stuff. So you need to find a focal point and get it out. And that's why, that's why all of this started for me, because I needed to have an outlet of some kind. And at the time, my now ex-wife was almost never home. So it was either sit around and play video games and make all kinds of fake money, or figure out if I could use my imagination to make real money. So far, there hasn't been a lot of real money, but there's been some money.
Chopping wood actually helps with venting.
It really does. Yeah, 100%. Absolutely. Yep. Yeah, you really get to slam the axe down and
Pretend
some of
it's
that.
the skulls of your enemies. Yeah.
No, exactly. Yeah.
Also, another good way of venting that I sometimes will do is just sit in peace and quiet. Like, sometimes I'll have a cigar, sit out on the deck and just look out in the sky and just be in a moment of silence.
Mhm.
Sometimes that helps. It also, it depends on who the person is. Some people, they have to talk to someone in person or on the phone. Or some people like to do it where, like Vincent, punch a punching bag. Like, you just have to find what works best for you. Not everyone can go to someone and talk in person. Some people like to just rather be quiet and just do their own thing in the private.
Or maybe just fire up some porn and have a wank.
Mhm.
That's
I mean,
kind of
you
where I thought
could, but that doesn't really help.
Someone will get injured that way.
that was the first thing I thought of when they started talking about chopping wood. Was it just me? Was I the only one? Maybe I was. I'm gonna mute now.
I chop wood every day. It's keeping me warm. Now, what about
Boss
putting
makes
on
$1 million, I
loud?
make $1. That's why I crank my pig in the company truck.
Oh,
Wow.
man. What were you gonna say, Canadian Spider-Man?
That's going on a t-shirt.
I was well, the kind of where you went, going quiet and what about in some cases putting on really loud rock and roll or heavy metal and just screaming along with the lyrics, and venting that way as well. That helps.
That works. It comes down to, again, it depends on who the person is. I know music that plays a very emotional tone with people. It's like, for me, it's ambionic music. Just sit and just listen to different sounds, and it just kind of relieves the stress. And I'm like, okay. And in my head, I'm just talking to myself about what I'm venting, and that helps. But yeah, I've done it where I've listened to Metallica super loud with my headphones and just in a basement, just yell. That helps. Like, as long as you can let it out healthy, then yeah, go for it. Don't go to a bar, get drunk, and pick a fight. That's probably the worst possible way.
No, that's stuff you do with your friends when you go out. That's not something you do alone. Never get into a bar fight alone.
No. And also, don't ever drink alone.
What?
I've
I
learned
do all the
like,
time.
What?
On a daily
Hold up.
basis.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase it again. Don't go to a bar by yourself and just get belligerently drunk. Like, if you're at home and you have like a beer or a glass of wine or something like that, that's fine. But like, if you go to the bar just to drink and you're by yourself and alone, that leads into depression and all these things. Like, there's studies about that, and I've gone down that path. It's very lonely.
I don't feel like the guy who's addicted to Bud Light should be judging Judgerson right now.
Yeah, but you can't get drunk on Bud Light, so.
That's true.
Anymore?
Oh,
Not
we'll
at
let
the
you know.
moment, but we'll wait. Yeah.
Oh, we'll let you know. Oh man, you guys are a bunch of goofballs.
I don't know.
I resemble that remark.
Yeah.
Like, when I backpack, I often go to pubs like alone because I don't know anyone in the place I'm in, and I just get drunk.
Well, what I mean is, okay, so what I mean is when you hit rock bottom,
it makes me really happy.
Well, no, when you hit rock bottom is what I mean. You're at a lowest point in your life, and you just go and drink by yourself and alone, and no one is around you. that's different than going backpacking or going to watch a sports game in a bar or just sitting at home having a glass of bourbon or whatever it might be. That's different than I've hit rock bottom. I've lost my job. I'm just going to go drink alone, and you're just going to soak in your sorrows. Like, you're not getting out of what you're venting. It's just, you're just bottling it all up. And then you just get into a bar fight, and then you're in jail, and then you have to get sued or whatever the situation might be.
Sports. Excellent. Glad you mentioned that. That's an excellent way of venting if you're into hockey. It's like you can actually go out on the ice and belt someone and get a 2-minute penalty.
I'll watch UFC.
Hockey's a good way. Yep.
I'll watch UFC.
Martial
watch
arts.
two dudes beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah, absolutely.
Grab the dick.
What?
Twist your dick.
No.
Oh, dick
What?
twist.
Dick twist.
No, don't do that to another man ever. What?
You haven't seen
don't
the video,
know.
have you?
Can
don't know.
You play that video, Steve?
Here,
No.
I'm gonna look for it.
You don't touch
Play
another
play
man.
play play the
dick.
video,
Like,
Steve.
Christy,
so he'll know.
That's a no-brainer.
Roll the tape.
You didn't
Roll
have
the
to
tape.
say that. Really.
Okay.
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
Oh,
Okay.
Is it a guy pretending to be a girl?
No,
No,
just
you'll know
it's
what
not
we're
what you
talking about.
think. You're assuming something, and it's not what you think.
I don't. It's like Crocodile Dundee.
If it was MMA, sure.
I like how the first world's hearts. Grab his dick and twist it.
Oh my god, dude, this is an MMA fight, dude.
Twist that dick.
Twist this dude.
Twist his dick.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god.
Oh, dick twist.
Oh my god.
That will never get old.
Never.
You've never
Wow.
seen that?
Never saw that. No, I don't really watch MMA. I don't have time. Wow. Yeah, that'd give me. I'd have something to vent about, I guess.
Oh shit! Oh
Let's
shit!
see.
Vincent,
That's why I
do you
don't watch MMA. I don't want to see dick twisting.
It's not okay. Yeah. Vincent, do you have a Shakespearean?
Thing about venting?
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
Ooh.
All right. Cool.
A lot of people know this one because a lot of people have seen Much Ado About Nothing. A lot of people say it's their favorite Shakespeare movie. And this is the one that everyone knows with Kenneth Branagh and Keanu Reeves and all that. And I want to talk about Don John, who is Don Pedro, who is one of the main characters. It's his half brother, and he's a dark, twisted son of a bitch who's jealous of everybody and hates his brother and hates everybody else who's connected with his brother, and who causes the main conflict in the play. And right at the beginning, he says, "I'd rather be a canker in a hedge than a rose in his grace, and it better fits my blood to be disdained of all than to fashion a carriage to rob love from any. In this, though I cannot be said to be a flattering honest man, it must not be denied, but I am a plain-dealing villain. I am trusted with a muzzle and enfranchised with a clog, therefore I have decreed not to sing in my cage. If I had my mouth, I would bite. If I had my liberty, I would do my liking. In the meantime, let me be that I am, and seek not to alter me." And jump, freeze frame, fade to black, Finn.
That's cool, man.
Did we lose Canadian Spider-Man? No,
He's back.
Oh, he's back.
No, I can't hear you, Steve.
You
You
can
can't
hear
hear us?
me because you're smiling right now. You're like, I got this joke on him. No, sorry.
I'm going to talk about Bud Light.
Oh my God.
You know what? I will. So
Bud
we're
Light
gonna go
related
to
products.
My
We're
name
gonna
is
go-
Rancor Steve, and I sell Bud Light and Bud Light related products.
Okay, that's the best one for tonight.
It
Am I
could
narrow
be-
urethra?
Oh,
Maybe it's me this reason.
it's you. It's
Oh, wait,
okay.
hang on. I'm going to send you something, Steve. Hang on.
Bobby, I got propane in my narrow urethra.
But we're gonna get into.
Damn it, Amish. Key through the nose hurts, bro.
We're gonna get through tip of the hat, and we'll have more conversations after. Kinky. What? So, tip of the hat is where we like to praise masculinity, unlike Kamal Harris. And if I get her name wrong, sue me. You get $1. Whoopie doo.
Okay.
Yeah. Where we're gonna go around the table and we're gonna mention someone in our lives that has played an important role, or it could be a celebrity, it could be anyone. It could be a mom. We have now opened that up. Moms are allowed to be in the tip of the hat. Yeah.
Check your DM, Steve.
Oh boy.
Feel free to share it.
Oh dear.
Well, it's not showing up.
It's in the group chat on Twitter.
Nope.
Nope. Do you know how to use a computer?
Is it like drinking Bud Light?
Computer.
Yes.
Oh, hang
Computer.
on. I didn't hit send. Okay, there we go.
There you go.
Jesus. Amateur hour.
Okay. Canadian Spider-Man, who's your tip of the
Yes.
hat?
Oh dear. Yeah. I'd like to put a tip of the hat out to a former, a good friend of mine and a former boss at the ski resort up in Whistler. He was the chief engineer, and I was the assistant chief engineer for the hotels up there. And he led by example. He was one of those guys that wouldn't be afraid, even though he was in charge of everything, and he had 11 guys to do the work. He would himself get right up into the dirty septic system or the sewer system or whatever gross job needed to be done, and he'd do it, and he'd lead by example. He'd work on holidays if needed be. He'd cover shifts that way, and if we had an issue, if we had a personal problem going on or something at work, he would always understand, and he was big on showing us, training us on keeping up our training on all kinds of things, electronics, HVAC, elevator, all kinds of things like that, elevator extraction. We did a lot of elevator extractions from drunk people jumping up and down in the elevator and tripping out the safety sensors. So shout out to Ken. He was just a fantastic boss, a good friend. And actually, when I moved to my present location, he lent me his vehicle to do it. And yeah, he often lent me shit. One time he went away for 3 weeks. He let me stay in his house because I didn't have a place to live. So that was pretty cool. It worked out. It was a win-win because I was coming back from traveling. So yeah, no, just a super nice guy, and lead by example, and don't be afraid to do any of the work that you would ask your guys to do.
Cool. Vincent.
I think I'd give a tip of the hat to my dad.
God damn it, he stole my answer.
It has a
His
feel.
dad?
How's it feel, Orty?
He's gonna do his dad.
I mean, so wait a minute. Does this mean you guys have the same dad? Because that's really the only way it
think
gets
so.
played.
Considering how on the same wavelength we are, yeah, I wouldn't doubt it. Plus, my dad had white shoes, so yeah, I probably have some illegitimate brothers and sisters. But yeah, my dad he
Bell
taught me
matches the shoes.
exactly. Just be good to everybody. Take no shit. When somebody starts a fight, finish it. Same old dad thing. You know, most of us had. Hang on a second. Oh, shit. Oh, cramp. Sorry.
You're old. It's okay.
No, see, while you guys are on camera doing all this stuff, I'm like actually reclining on my couch, and I like occasionally look off to the side to see what you guys are doing. So I take my podcasting seriously.
So you do the show in a state of repose.
Exactly. I am reclined.
So it is therapy.
Yeah, it is. Except I'm
There
not
you go.
paying for it.
That you know of.
I think you're suffering with brain damage, maybe a little from this.
I have that effect on people.
Yes, this is true. Orty has.
Orty, who's your tip of the hat?
You know what? This week I'm going to go with Steve Martin, who had two of the best vents ever filmed. His vent about his fire crew in Roxanne, and his vent in Parenthood about the big shots at the hot dog company getting together with the big shots at the bun company. These were some of the best vents ever put on celluloid. So, tip of the hat, Steve. Also, you know, aside from you occasionally saying stupid shit on Twitter, you're a generally decent man.
Well, that was entirely unexpected.
Yeah.
What's that?
You being nice. You're not used to this thing, you being nice thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Or Rick.
My tip of the hat has to go to one of my uncles who unfortunately passed away a couple of years ago. He was probably my favorite uncle growing up as a kid. And he actually became even cooler when I got older because I realized he was getting high most of the time I was around him, and I had no idea when I was a kid. So that was like, wow. I just realized that the whole time I'm hanging out with him, he was smoking pot in the den. But yeah, he taught me how to shoot pool, and he was a damn fine pool shark. I actually watched him run the table on kids when I was little, and he would put $5 down on the table and leave the pool hall with 100 by the time he was done. It was amazing to watch. I was never that good, but I still like playing the game, and it's because of him. So this tip of the hat goes to my Uncle Stan.
Cool.
Nice.
My tip of the hat would be my buddy Nate. I finally got to hang out with him in Texas, and it's been like 8 years. Just hanging out with him and seeing how he is as a dad, I'm like, this is awesome. Like, just seeing what he has gone through in life and then what he is doing now, and just being successful, and just saying, dude, man, if you really put your mind to it, you can do anything. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. And it's like, it was weird when I saw him in Texas and he comes into the house, because we get there before he does, and we're talking to his wife. He gets in there, and him and I just gave each other a big hug, and we just talk like we haven't missed a single beat. That's the beauty about guys, is you could, like, a good guy friend, you can spend like 10 years, however long it is, meet up, and you guys would talk like you didn't miss a month. And which from my understanding, baffles women to a complete confusion, because they're like, how can you guys do that? I'm like, it's not that hard. Like, I don't have to call my buddies every single day and just tell them. Sometimes I'll talk to some of my guy friends every day on the phone just to see how they're doing. But that's like in a phase, really. But that's tip of the hat, guys. Woohoo.
Yeah.
And that's the show.
That's it. No, if you call guys too much, they'll get pissed off. You can't do that.
Yeah. You don't do it that much. Like, if they're like in a different state and you're just for like a week, just catching up, that's totally fine. It's like, hey, I haven't talked to you in about a couple of years.
Mm-hmm.
Catching
Yeah,
up, yeah.
but if
Or
you're
you can do it
calling,
in
like-
30 minutes.
If you're calling like 2 or 3 times a week, then it's not really venting. It's more like purse dumping.
Yeah.
Very much, yeah.
Or
Can we-
random
It's like when
text.
Ned Flanders kept busting, in on Reverend Lovejoy. Ned, have you tried any of the other major religions? They're all pretty much the same.
Short answer, yes with an if. Long answer, no with a but.
But yeah, so I don't know what next week's topic is going to be. We'll think about it.
Bull husbandry.
Huh?
Never mind.
I was gonna say meat seasoning.
Meat seasoning?
Meat-
Ooh, wait, let's
Ooh.
do that. We could do that.
Meat
Ooh,
We haven't done a
seasoning.
food show in a while.
I might
Yeah.
have. I'm gonna have a part of a deer here for next week.
You better.
I know. I've only got 3 weeks left. You're damn
So
right.
we're
I
going to
better.
talk about pounding our meat.
Well, I mean, yeah.
I mean,
I
Steve,
feel like Vincent is the type of guy you go to the bar with. We're all having a conversation, and he would just randomly say something like that and just throw everybody off on the whole what?
Yeah,
Like-
exactly. Just to see the look on your faces.
Yeah.
Those,
I
those are us shit posters who are also chaos agents. That's what we do.
That's kind of my thing, man.
That's my shtick.
Just wait until you guys meet me in person one day. You're gonna be like, dude, because I'll say the most random things, and it won't make sense, but to me it will. Yeah,
Nice.
and you know what? I'm okay with that. I have no shame.
Yeah,
we know,
just-
Shameless. We know.
you drink Bud Light, man. We got that. We totally got you, bro.
Yeah. But in what is it? In 4 weeks,
Yeah.
the 3-year
Wicked.
anniversary of Man-O-Rama is going to happen. I think it's going to be at 5 p.m. Pacific time.
2
Start a
year
little
or 3
earlier.
year?
2-year.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2-year.
2 years.
Because they'll be going to the 3rd season. Yeah.
Okay.
It's going to be an all-day thing. We're going to have live nude dancers.
Ooh. Yes.
No,
I'm in.
I mean you can. You always have the camera off, so
I mean,
Whatever-
all I'm going to say about that is, do we really want Steve picking the live nude dancers? He drinks Bud Light.
This is true.
no.
Do we have time to vent about the people still wearing the stupid COVID masks? Because that
Yeah,
has
if you
to
want to
stop.
vent about
Go,
that, go
go,
for it.
go nuts.
That
Go
has-
for it.
Go mad,
That
lad.
has to stop. I mean, at this point, they're just virtue signaling, right? It's got to be either that or they're literally brain damaged. I just don't understand it, and it doesn't. Like, how many reports do you need to see? Like, it doesn't help. It doesn't do anything. It's like trying to stop a virus with a mask is like trying to stop Skittles with a chain link fence. It's not that there's a size problem here. It doesn't help. They're just being stupid. Yeah,
There's
you
there's a size problem here. I've heard that one too many
Yeah.
times in my life.
Yeah.
Oh wait, never mind.
Yeah.
But no, you're right though. I mean, it's just stupid. I mean, and at this point, I think it might actually be brain damage because I think they've just inhaled way too much CO2 from having the masks on.
Well, that's it. Or virtue signaling, like
yeah,
some of the people in
It's
public
virtue
health.
signaling. They get off on the
Yeah.
dopamine hits they think they're going to get because, oh, I'm doing this to protect you and
Yeah.
I'm so awesome for it. Yeah, okay. I wear a mask and I've had 9 boosters. I'm going in for my 10th tomorrow.
Yes. And
And
somehow
I've
I
had
keep getting
COVID
sick.
7 times.
Yes. Exactly.
You know what the best is when you see a guy at a gas station wearing a mask, and you drive up slowly. I've seen this in the video, and you just ask him, "Hey, do you jerk off wearing the mask?"
Is that one of those random
We
things
start
you
doing that.
say?
Yep.
Okay.
And this
Yeah,
segment is
no, I'm,
random things Steve says.
Oh, we can make that a segment. Oh yeah, like there was someone who they said they were talking to me. One of my friends' friends that watched the show, they just stumbled across the show, and I was talking to him. He's like, "Man, you talk really elegantly." And I was like, what episode did you watch?
This
'Cause
show?
we never talked. I know. I'm like, what show? You're gonna love this. He's like, yeah, you were talking about. I don't. He was like, you were talking about cooking and all these things, and just how you pronounce the words are so great, but you don't
Ooh.
in person. You just talk really random and sporadic, and you characterize your words. And I said, was this? And then I had to go through the episode with him. I was like, this one? He goes, that voice. It was Vincent. And I'm like, dude, I was like, okay, whatever.
Okay, see,
I
the
was
key
like,
to
you
sound,
can't see the word. Is when we were on StreamYard, so you can see the words. He's like,
Yeah,
oh.
the-
And he just looked down. He's like, I was like, it's okay. You can be short bus today.
I'm so stupid.
No, the key to sounding refined and concise and all that stuff, always pronounce the consonants at the end of every word. Try it.
Enunciate.
Enunciate. Enunciate clearly. With vigor.
Mm,
And Vim.
mm.
I was gonna say, does this vigor come with Vim included, or do you have to
Ooh.
push
No,
extra to-
the Vim is sold separately. Thank you.
Batteries not included. So next week we'll talk about cooking, seasoning meat, and all that fun stuff.
Fantastic.
Yeah, I ate so much.
Okay, is it just meat? Because I do have some vegan options.
Vincent,
Kiss our asses.
Did you just Bud Light on us?
No,
yeah.
I'm fucking with you.
So
I
the
don't
best
think you
rant
are.
has to be Chevy Chase in Christmas Vacation. National.
Well, yeah,
Lampoon's
there's
Christmas
that too.
Vacation. It has
Yes.
to be the best rant. And I need a Tylenol.
Hallelujah.
Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Yes, something like that.
It's funny. I was thinking about that today too, and I was just randomly going, "Yeah, shitter's full."
Yep, that's a good one.
Nice.
Of course,
So-
Bruce does a pretty good.
It was like a running joke for forever when Twitter first changed its name to X because everybody was
Yeah,
calling him
He
Jitter.
does a good rant in there.
Extra's full. Zitter's full.
So November 5th is going to be the 2-year anniversary for the show. We'll start at 5 p.m. Pacific time. It's kind of, we follow the election night because I guess this country had to have an election during Man-O-Rama. Gosh. No, it'll be fun. We'll have a lot of fun segments, talk about our favorite things about the show, and have fun, you know?
Yeah, I'm gonna
We're
try and call in like Ollie Williams from Family Guy.
Yes. If we can make that
People are
happen,
voting. Thanks,
Gotcha.
Ollie.
Completely useless. Yep.
So,
you said
but I
Family
want to.
Guy. I thought you said Family
My
Ties.
voice is women's AMSR.
Family Ties is a different show altogether.
Wow. Okay.
All right. Maybe you should do a show of that. I don't know. Anyways, so I want to thank everyone on the show, on the panel. Vincent,
Do you?
Canadian Spider-Man, Ordy, Rick. It's been fun.
Rob Thunder.
I'm gonna like next week's topic. That's gonna be fun again. I like talking about food on this
Yeah.
because then we get hungry
food
and
is-
angry.
Exactly. Food is a bond between people. One of
Yeah.
the biggest bonds between people.
And you
And
can
what-
bring your vegan food if you want,
No,
Vincent.
I
We'll
was
just make
I was
fun of
fucking
you.
with you, but I
I
do.
don't-
I mean,
you know-
you might
I
as
was
well
just pretending to be retarded.
you might as
Yeah.
well bring vegan because that gives Shameless an excuse to bring Bud Light to the show. So
You know, that's a very good point.
Do they make vegan Bud Light?
Okay, I'll bring my my marinated eggplant recipe.
That just makes me sick.
No, that sounds fantastic. Actually,
Sounds sexual.
one of my favorite things in Thai food is eggplant,
Yes, eggplant is the
especially if
shit.
it's been in
It's awesome.
coconut milk for like an hour. And,
Ooh.
See,
yeah.
I'm way different than you guys. I just meat. I don't need the veggies, greens, just
Yep.
meat. I
I
don't.
agree with Steve.
I'll eat some of like broccoli if it's done right, but man, give me tri-tip and I'm good.
You mean broccoli, cooked to
Papa
being
broccoli.
completely textureless and soft, and then dumping massive amounts of cheese on it. I see.
Yes.
I get it.
Vehicle for the cheese.
I understand. I understand completely. It's not your fault.
So basically, Shameless gets tri-tip and Bud Light, and he's set.
It's
Yes,
not your fault,
totally.
Steve. It's not your fault.
I know. I'll be okay. I'll be
Okay,
okay.
you sure?
It's a journey that it's one step at a time.
Remember, Steve, you
I'll-
can vent to us.
It's okay.
We have been so sympathetic tonight.
On that note, I'll see you guys next week.
And we
Hail
say
Hydra.
bye-bye.
Hail Hydra!
Bye-bye.